I'm Shari, and we're going to do a practice that really focuses on the hips. Just a few different stretches through the hips and maybe a little bit into the pelvis, low back area that might be helpful for you. So find a nice supportive chair and maybe a couple of yoga blocks. I will be using those for a couple of things. And as always, start with breath so that you come into this present moment. Notice how you're breathing and maybe sitting up a little bit taller. Lift through the heart center and notice if that helps you take full, complete breaths. Make sure your feet are both planted on the ground and you have a nice supportive chair beneath you, stable and secure. Another deep breath, releasing tension through the shoulders and just bringing your awareness to your hips, your low back, this area that can be troublesome for some people. Notice if you could, on your next exhale, bring a little bit of softness through this part of your body, still keeping your chest lifted, but maybe kind of releasing through the belly, releasing through the low back, releasing through the hips. All right, so the first movement we'll do is keeping your feet stable or keeping your feet where they are. Lift one heel. If you need to lift and lower a couple times, go ahead. And then lift your heel, bring your knee in and out. Just starting, fairly gentle, not trying to really do any big stretches at first. Getting a little mobility in the hip. And if you have any hip issues, any pain, please stay away from pain and pinching and move within your pain-free range of motion. All right, so place that heel down. You can lift the other heel, lift and lower a couple times just to get your calf and your foot warmed up. And then lift your heel and bring your knee side to side. Still keeping a nice lift through the spine and breathing. And relax. Lift one knee up and around, and you can think of this as a spiral. So starting with small circles, if that feels good, then making them bigger. But if it doesn't, keep them small. Just kind of exploring your range of motion in one direction. We'll do both, so hang on a second. So we're just exploring on this side, and now we'll explore on the other side, and we'll do the other direction after this. So small circles at first, maybe making them bigger. And step your foot down. So the other one, if you want to start in the direction you normally would go, do that, and then reverse direction. Again, small at first, and bigger as you feel good. Step your foot down. The other knee, go in the regular direction, the direction you would initially start, and then go in the opposite direction. All right, step it down. Just notice how you're feeling. Kind of let that tension go from your hips, down through your legs, into the ground, into the earth. Sit up tall again, and plant your feet out hip width distance or a little bit more. Bring your hands to your hips. We're going to do some pelvic tilts. Now these could be super small and slow, like you're tilting forward and back maybe 1 inch in each direction, or even less. If there's any pain at all, do less. Start with less, because then as you start to do this, it might loosen things up. If that happens, then you can move a little bit more. So if you're familiar with cat and cow, it's kind of that cat-cow tilt going back and forth. And keep doing that. I'm going to turn to the side, but you can stay forward just so you can see what's happening kind of in my low back is rounding as I go back, and then lifting, arching as I come forward. So a few more of those. Like I said, if there's any pain, do less, maybe like 1 millimeter in each direction. Keep breathing. Three more. And finish up. Come into a cat, rounding your spine. And inhale, lifting up to a cow. Pull your elbows and shoulders back. Lift your chin. And release. Just let it go. Step your feet out wider, and we'll do a little rocking motion side to side. Notice if you should move less or more than this. So take it at your pace. You can go much slower as well. And come back to center. Step your feet closer together. Lift one knee up and step it down. Lift the other knee up and step it down. Try to use mostly your hip muscles, lifting and lowering. Try to keep your foot flexed as you do this, so toes lifted. There might be a rounding in the spine as you lift your knee. Keep going. We're engaging the muscles, so we're getting them warmed up. So then when we do our stretches, we'll be ready to let go. All right, and release. Bring your legs out wide, scooch back in your chair, and we'll do a stretch kind of in the hips and inner thigh area for a forward fold. You can keep your hands on your knees, maybe elbows on your knees, or if you want to come down farther, hands slide down your shins to your ankles or feet. Maybe let your head hang down if you don't have any blood pressure issues, and maybe rock side to side. Take a deep breath. Bring your elbows to your knees. Pause here, allowing your blood pressure to readjust. And then sit up nice and tall. Bring your feet closer together. So now bring one knee up and squeeze it up and in. This is a really big stretch in the hip. You could point and flex your foot if that feels good. And cross your ankle over your knee. If this does not work for you for some reason, maybe crossing your legs or even crossing at your ankles, okay? So you can kind of get adjusted here, allowing that stretch to happen in your hip. While you're doing that, a good thing to do is massaging your calf. Lift this knee with your hip muscles. So lift and engage, and then gently press it down. Lift again, engage the muscles, so you're kind of holding it for a couple seconds, and then press it down. Lift, keep breathing, and down. Lift and hold if you can for about 5 seconds. Keep holding. And slowly, so you're going to press and resist against yourself. And let it down, just let it go. Let's do that one more time. So lift, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then gently resist against yourself as you press your knee down, and then release all muscular effort in your hip. Now grab your shin, rock forward and back. Come into your best forward fold, so that could simply be chin to chest. If you can, lean forward. Maybe resting your forearms on your shin, and you could also rock side to side. And if you feel stable in your chair, you could kind of do a circular motion here. Rock in a circle. I like to hang onto my shin as I'm doing this, and then go the other direction. Big breath. Inhale to sit up. Hug your knee up and in, and then extend your leg. Just pressing it out, and then step your foot down, tap your foot out. Step this same foot out to the side. We're going to stretch the inner thigh again here in the hip. So you can keep your knees bent here, ideally, and place your hands on your knees, but you're going to lean toward this front knee. So leaning forward, press this other knee back as you do that. Take a deep breath. Inhale to rise. Bring your leg back to center. And notice the difference between the two legs, the hips. Your brain loves to learn by contrast, by contrasting one side to the other. And then we'll move over to the other side. So give yourself, if you want to take a drink or anything, feel free to do that. So we'll pick up the other knee and give it a big hug, big squeeze, as high as you can. And you can point and flex. Cross your ankle over your knee or cross your legs in some way that works for you on this side. And massage your calf while you're kind of settling in here. Okay, so now lifting this knee up and just for a second holding it. If you ever get a cramp, sometimes if you try to hold too long, you could just extend your leg out like that. But lifting and lowering it down, maybe pressing it down if you need that. Lift and lower. A couple more times like that. Keeping it moving. And then this time we'll hold it for about 5 seconds. So trying to use your hip strength to do that, although you could support it with your hand. And slowly resist against yourself as you let your knee come down. Do that again, lifting it up. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and resist. Ooh, I'm feeling it. Good, and try to release that muscular effort in your hip. Grab your shin, rock forward and back a few times. Coming into your forward fold, maybe chin to chest, maybe rocking side to side, or even in that circular motion, where you could grab your shin and circle around your seat. Other direction. Come back to center. Hug your knee in again, and then extend your leg out. Ooh, stretch it out, stretch it out. Step it down, and let's do a little tap through the soles of the feet. Releasing that tension all the way down again. So we'll just do a couple more things here. A lunge, one of my favorites for releasing hip and low back. Bring your knees over to one side. So this leg that's kind of on your chair, that's your supportive leg. The other leg, try to drop your knee down. You could always put also put a block under your knee for support here. What you want to feel is an opening in this hip. If you can, step your foot back farther. Your leg does not have to be straight, just as far back as you can go. And then think about where you're feeling the stretch and if staying upright feels better for you, or if leaning forward on your knee feels better. You could always place a block here for your hand as well. But what I want you to try to feel is a stretch in the front side of your hip flexor here. So leaning forward, sometimes you can feel it there if it's pretty tight. You might have to come up to feel it here. You can keep your arms down, or you could reach that same side arm up. Bring your arm down and bend your knee, pull your knee forward. Switch over to the other side. So again, that front knee drops down, maybe onto a block, but if you can, try to lean forward a little bit, step that foot back as far as you can, and see if you can start to feel a stretch somewhere on the front side of your hip, your thigh maybe. And remember, you can lean forward if that feels better for you, or stay upright. And then on this side, the option to reach your arm forward and up. Take a big breath. And release. Bring your arm down, bend your knee, pull it forward. All right, good. Take a couple breaths. Just notice how you're feeling. A lot of the muscles in the hips connect to the low back. And then there's also muscles in the hips that connect down to the knees. So one of those, we have a couple of smaller, thinner muscles that often get neglected that are on the insides of the thighs to the knees. And one way to strengthen those is to squeeze your knees together, maybe on a block or a pillow. But if you don't have anything, you can just bring your knees together like this. And you might even feel it on your outer hips too. So whatever you've got, sit up nice and tall. We're going to squeeze the knees together for about 5 seconds and breathe. And for those of you who follow me or come to my classes, we often press our palms together too, and then release. Let it go. Just shake your knees side to side. And we'll do it 2 more times. Of course, you could do more if you want, maybe 5. Okay, squeeze it in, sit up tall, and really focus on the leg squeezing. That's what we want to focus on. Maybe press your palms together or a fist. And I like to get to that point where I'm squeezing so hard, I feel a little shaky. And then release. Whew. It's pretty intense. And try that one more time. So we're just one more time so you know you can give it a really good shot here. So squeezing your knees together, maybe to that shaky point or almost, and then bring the arms in, lift up through your belly, keep breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let it go. Whew. Nice. Okay, so we did a lot. You probably feel kind of tired in this area, especially after that last one. We're going to do one more forward fold, wide-legged forward fold, because it's a good stretch. Knees out wide, elbows to knees. Maybe you reach your hands down to your feet, or even if you have your blocks there, you could put your hands on blocks. Take a good stretch. One more deep breath. Letting go. Bring your hands to your knees and push yourself up. The very last thing is my favorite. It's highly recommended to put your legs up on a chair or a couch, or if you're laying on a bed or couch, you could stack up a few pillows and put your legs up on there. So I'm going to show you. You can join me if you'd like in having your chair. If you feel comfortable getting onto the floor, you could do that, or you could stack up some pillows on your couch. I like to lay down a blanket and then have your hips fairly close to the chair or the couch. So one way to do this is to sit perpendicular to whatever you're going to put your legs on, and then to lay back and kind of twist a little bit as you flip up to get your legs up there. So if you can see that this right angles basically that I'm making with my body to my hips, my knees are over my hips, and my feet feel supported. I can kind of let my knees go out to the sides. And as you settle into this position, you might notice some different sensations in the low back as it's starting to let go. And it can feel a little twingy. There could be a little bit of pain, but more like letting go. You know, the muscles are starting to release. But this is really good for balancing out the hips and the low back. And also, it's highly beneficial for your state of mind. If you ever do any kind of meditation, this is a great position to do that in. And just letting it go. Imagining that your hips and low back are melting into the floor, bit by bit. You know how it takes a while for butter to melt? It doesn't just happen suddenly. So imagine that just bit by bit, drop by drop, your hips are melting. Take some deep breaths. And know you did some really good and intense work in your hips and low back and good stretching. And this is allowing all of that work to settle in for your body and your brain to take in what it needs from this practice. So allow yourself to just feel your breath. Don't rush through this time. The magic happens maybe like 5 minutes in, maybe 10 minutes in, but it's recommended to do this for 10 minutes a day, especially for any hip and low back issues. Stay present by following your breath in and out through your nose. Relax your jaw. Relax your shoulders. Relaxing your hands down by your sides. Your palms could be up or down. Relax your feet, ankles, knees. Relaxing your hips, your back, and your belly. Notice if there's any change from when you first started doing this. If something feels like it shifted or settled. Also, listening to your breath is a cue of what's happening in the body. So if the breath is calming down, usually the body is too, and hopefully the mind. I highly encourage you to stay here for as long as you need, as long as you want. Not rushing through it, not anticipating what's next, but keeping your mind right here, right now, in this present moment. Keep relaxing, letting go. Breathing. Find a moment of gratitude. Bring the awareness of gratitude, the feeling of gratitude to your heart center and feel the warmth, the love, the appreciation here at your heart center. See if you could melt one more layer of tension in the low back and hips. If there's any shifting or moving you'd like to do, feel free, but not too much. We'll be done in about 1 or 2 more minutes. Another deep breath would feel good to release, or a sigh. Feel free to audibly sigh. Feel free to stay here longer. Otherwise, you could start wiggling your fingers and toes, or maybe rocking your head side to side. And then bring one knee close to your chest and then the other. And see if you can just do the tiniest little rocking motion side to side. If that feels good, you could pull your knees in closer, maybe even take a happy baby, rocking side to side. And then bring your knees over to your right side if possible. You could go to your left, but the right side is recommended. Laying in this nice restorative fetal position. And taking your time to sit up. You can stay on the floor if that's where you were. And maybe bring your hands to your heart or in prayer pose. I miss Ray. Notice how you feel. Thank you all so much for joining. Namaste. And don't forget to take a big stretch to finish. Please take your time standing up from where you're at. And I will see you next time.